about communication. Why did the federal government feel the need to make a federal red, F941? Because we don't communicate. We communicate, can I get in the ditch a little bit? We communicate things that are better left unsaid. But we forget to communicate. Who has a red area in a pressure point? Who got a med? Who refused meds? Who refused meals? Who didn't come to the dining room today? Who's sad? Who's depressed? Who's anxious? Who got a new med? Who has a UTI? Who refused their labs? That's the communication we need in here. Who refused to let us wash their clothes today? We have to communicate pertinent information every day on our house guests to make sure our house guests get the best care ever. The only way that a person gets the best care is how? Everybody knows what's going on. That's how. Communication. A facility must include effective communication as mandatory training for direct care staff. Mandatory training, go figure. What's effective communication? Effective communication describe a process or dialogue between individuals. The skills include speaking to others in a way they can understand and active listening and observation of verbal and nonverbal cues. Understanding what the resident is trying to communicate is essential to giving a response. Okay, communicating with residents. Let's talk about that. How do we communicate with residents? If we have a resident that is blind or partial blind, how do we communicate with them? What is our communication plan for a resident that's blind? What is our communication for a resident that can't hear? We have lots of people here that are hard of hearing. What do we do to properly communicate with those people? We have communication boards. We write it down instead of speak it. We have notepads and we write, and they write back. We send ST, our speech therapist, screens them and comes up with a plan and executes the plan to us and services us on the communication plan. So anytime we have problems communicating with a resident, it is our individual responsibility to make sure that everyone knows the problem and that we identify the problem and we get it taken care of immediately. Every house guest in this building deserves the right to be heard and to be understood. Everybody deserves the right to be understood. Okay? So you have to make sure that we get a speech therapy screen, we get a plan, and you know the plan. You cannot sit here and say, well, I couldn't understand them. No, it's your responsibility to go find out by the speech therapist. What's the communication plan if you don't know already? What is our plan to communicate with these people that are hard of hearing or blind, can't talk, can't see, whatever the case may be? What if they speak Spanish? What are we going to do? What if they only speak French? What are we going to do? You need a plan. We need a plan. We have some Spanish-speaking people here. We have French-speaking people here that can communicate. We also have the app on our phone. If we get the app that translates, we talk into the phone and the app translates. We also have that. But it's each of our individual responsibility to be able to communicate with every single person in this building. And the excuse of, I didn't know or I didn't understand, does not fly, because you need to go find out. That's why we have people that can make recommendations and that can help us. What if you have a resident you cannot communicate with? What do? I would go see the speech therapist. And I tell her, I cannot communicate with so-and-so because of whatever the reason is. I would tell the charge nurse. I would come tell me. And we'd figure out a plan immediately. We don't wait. We don't wait. So this is what I want to say loud and clear. We have to work with the spirit of urgency. We cannot wait. You cannot say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. No, you got to do it today. At the time the problem is, that's the time we address it. So many times we say we'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow comes and we forgot about it because we already had a million other issues to deal with, so tomorrow's gone. So when you have issues, we deal with it immediately.